And here we are. Welcome everyone then to game number 1. Brave Bear versus Uzzi. Playing in the south in the red color and in the north with the blue color as well. Poles and Saracens. Oh, Brave Bear. iBUYPOWER. I think I recall that name a lot better than Brave Bear. Yes, so I might have seen this player before. I would imagine both these guys are pretty close in terms of skill. After all, the Silver League for T90's Titans League, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is only for players who aren't top 48, right? I'm not really sure exactly what the criteria they used for, you know, who was the top 48. I don't know if it was just the ranked position or if it was based on ATP or something like that. To be fair, ATP is not particularly accurate outside the top like 10 to 20 players probably at most. Hey Rosa. Hi. Where's that adorable face? Oh, well, if you want to see my face, you have to go and check the Manco stream. Or actually not stream, YouTube channel, because he hosted a game show with me the other day. And it's already available on his YouTube page. Basically, it's a trivia game with 25 questions. Split into 5 different stages of increasing difficulty. So 5 easy questions, 5 not so easy questions. And then level 5, of course, is going to be the hardest. And that was good. It's in Spanish, though. But you can find it already online, and if all goes well in the future, we're going to have one in English. Can you please post the link? I do not have the link at hand, but if you look for this person on YouTube, you're going to find this channel. And it's basically the last video, I think, that he uploaded. Alright, for these civilizations, starting up in the north, Uzzi is gonna have a Saracens. Faster attacking galleys, that is not particularly relevant on this map. Instead, for this one, we are still going to get the cheaper markets, trade resources for cheaper. In addition to that, the Saracens will also get extra HP on camel units, and for the team bonus, they have bonus damage from foot archer units against buildings. Now, Brave Bear, or iBUYPOWER, I think we're probably going to switch the player name. I think it's probably more... He's better known as iBUYPOWER, so I'm just going to use this, alright? 1 second. There we go. So iBUYPOWER down the south, playing with Poles. We'll get instead villagers that get gold for each unit of stone that they mine, 0.33 units of gold. In addition to that, we also have HP regeneration on villagers per minute. 5, 10, 15, 20 per minute, depending on the age, and access to Folborg. They're gonna have for the team bonus. In addition to that... Oh, there we go. Take a look at that. That was really well played. He shot the ostrich, so he reset the position of the unit over here. Otherwise, the ostrich would have gone back all the way to its original position. That was really good from iBUYPOWER. And then on top of that, for the team bonus, the Poles will get bonus damage from Scotland units against... There we go. From Scotland units against Archer type units, kind of like the Persian bonus with the 9-line units, but a little bit weaker and for weaker units as well. Could potentially be good, especially in a late game situation. Yeah, it's in Spanish, so if you don't understand Spanish, you're probably not gonna understand too much of it. But I'll tell you, maybe I won't tell you the result in case anybody who can speak Spanish decides to take a look at it. But I ranked pretty well. From all the participants that they've had in the past, I got a pretty good score. Seed was based on average of current and highest RM1v1 Elo. Okay, thank you, Happy Leaves. Makes sense. Season 1 had the top 48 players by ATP. 8 players were promoted / relegated between platinum and gold, and 8 players were relegated from gold. Silver is basically a qualifier for the new 8 players for gold. Okay, I see our base. That makes sense then why we have the amount of players we do. But it's 9 spots since Brew can't play. Yeah, that makes sense. So we are going to have 18 players for the 4th round. This is the 3rd round, right? The round 36. So the 4th round is going to be the round of 18, and that's going to determine the 9 players who will make it. Anyway, I have introduced a few improvements to the channel I took the playlist that plays in the background to not include any of the victory or lose soundtracks as well, so that, you know, that I know that it can bother some people, so we only have the in-game music, right, for the playback or for the playlist in the background. On top of that, I also made a new sticker. It's not relevant over here, but now we have a dock sticker as well for water maps, which is quite good. And in addition to that, the zoom feature that I sometimes use, now it's dynamic and it properly will follow my cursor around the screen. So if I want to show you something, you saw that in the past this would only be at the center, but now it actually follows the cursor, right? So now we can take a look at stuff like this. And it's pretty good. So FLH tier for both these guys. We see that Uzzi is going for an archer range already. Meanwhile, iBUYPOWER on the other hand is going for an archer range as well. He does not have any gold miners, and I don't see him trying to collect any of the golds or any of the stones. While up in the north, I see that Uzzi is collecting gold already quite heavily, and he's got a second archer range, so he's going all out. There we go. Did you put the palisades in? I tried, but there was a bug with the annotations program that prevented me from using it the way that I wanted to. So I reported it, and I'm waiting for it to get fixed, hopefully, so that we can actually make use of it. But yeah, I also made a little palisade sticker as well to potentially use for when drawing the walls, but right now I cannot use it. Not yet, anyway. So far, pretty uneventful. We didn't really talk about the map too much. This is Gold Rush. So you will see at the center the extra gold over here. And this is very similar to what we saw for Warlords as well, in the sense that we have a higher elevation piece of land at the very center, so we have a higher hill, and then it's surrounded by a not quite as high ridge around it. However, this ring of terrain is going to have most of the gold close to it, while the center only has one gold at the very top. So if you get control of the center over here, it's not going to be quite as good as in Warlords, I think, because the majority of the gold is like beyond the range of what a single castle will be able to secure over here, right? Like we saw a castle come up from, let's say, the blue player around here. He would only be able to secure some resources. Oh, and I also redid the stickers, or not redid, but I re-rendered all the stickers because before they have a slightly off camera angle, and now they should be actually perfect. They should perfectly fit within the perspective of the game, hopefully. Man, it's incredible how much time one has to spend behind the scenes just to introduce fairly minor looking changes. There is something else that I've been working towards as well. I couldn't quite finish it for today. I wanted to use it for today, but couldn't quite do it. And that is, I'm going to move the chat from the right hand side over to the left, over here. So you can see right now that I have the panel visible, right? So we are going to have the chat over here instead. That's gonna be good. So they're just on the way for Uzzi. Nobody's really putting any pressure despite having two archer ranges. Uzzi realized, taking a look at the red player, that he was completely walled off, right? So instead of going and trying to be aggressive in the FLH, you're probably just wasting resources, wasting time over here going for extra units, potentially even losing some of his units. He decides to make a play for the Castle Age instead. And this is so much more passive compared to what we have gotten used to, right? From somewhat higher level players. Not to say that we don't get to see this type of game from higher level players, but usually they're going to be a little bit more aggressive most of the time. So I'm not really sure if this is a one-off from both these players, or if we are going to have more games like this, fairly passive early on. Do they have the Deep Waters League start? I don't think so, right? Nice snipe over here. Let me take a look. Hold on. No, it's standard start. Okay. Yeah, it's Rex. it's Rex. We're gonna cover this one, depending on how long the series is. We might cover a second series as well. And there are only 4 from the round 36. So I think from this point onwards, we should be able to provide 100% of coverage. That should be good. There we go. Here come the archers. He's getting to the castle age. You should have a crossman blocking arrow upgrades coming up. Usually, you see players trying to time this so that they get the crosswoman upgrade by the time they either have breached through already, which this was too early for Uzzi, or by the time they just make it to the palaces so they can breach through a little bit quicker as well. But in the end, he's still gonna be able to come in though, I think. Blocking arrow, crossman, there we go. So long as he's paying attention, should be able to get a good trade over here. However, he's gotta be careful. The hill advantage over there for the skirmish will certainly make a difference. There we go. Beautiful. Oh, by the way, and there is one more thing that I worked on these days, and that is a YouTube trailer for my Twitch channel whenever we have a break, so that I can play something other than just the soundtrack of the game and the static browser. I'm going to show you then, probably after the series. Nice snipes over there. 3 villagers going down, and you can see with a beautiful zoom the villagers sinking into the ground. 1, 2, 3 right there. And here comes Uzzi roaming around the left-hand side. Won't be able to stop the TC over here, but iBUYPOWER's already taken a lot of damage. Yeah. And now that he pushes the villagers away from the forward, the economy from iBUYPOWER is not going to be anywhere near as good. Let's take a look to see if Uzzi is paying attention over here. He does know about the Mangonel. Well done. He's taking the farms. Gonna try to go after the Mangonel. That is a good shot from iBUYPOWER. With the villagers over there, the red player should be able to keep the Mangonel alive. And Uzzi does not have ballistics right now, so he's not quite as effective when trying to get the villagers first. Yeah, and killing farm over here is pretty good. Good shot as well. And this is really solid defense from iBUYPOWER, but it doesn't take away all the damage that Uzzi has already managed to deal over here. And that is not even the end of it. We have a second group of archers moving on from the north. He'll have enough range over here to push the villagers away from goal as well. This is so good for Uzzi. Now, if he can keep these archers alive, it's gonna be hard as iBUYPOWER already closed the gap over here and Uzzi cannot come out anymore. But if he's able to keep these archers alive, he's going to keep the Mangonel on the right hand side, and that is a great shot from iBUYPOWER. And over here on the left hand side, well, there's only one group of units left that iBUYPOWER shouldn't really struggle to defend against anymore, since now he doesn't need to split his army to defend himself effectively. 30C on the way on the right hand side for iBUYPOWER. Up in the north we see that Uzzi's got 2 TCs. And despite the fact that he is about 4 workers behind, I would imagine that his economy is probably a little bit stronger compared to iBUYPOWER, mainly because of how much he was able to disrupt it when coming in with the units. Let's actually take a look at the gather economy time. Yeah, it's not even close. Uzzi has gotten about 40 minutes, actually half an hour of extra gather economy time compared to iBUYPOWER so far, despite the villager situation. If you're not the MBL, don't try to micro against the Mangonels. Yeah, absolutely. Guys, I am so hyped just to be able to cast again over here. I haven't been able to stream in like, what is it, 5 days? Or is it 6 days? And yeah, we're back to it. So we're gonna be back tomorrow as well. Yeah, we're gonna be back tomorrow after the World Cup's final. And most likely on Monday, probably on Tuesday as well. Gonna try and pick up and hopefully get completely caught up with T90's Titans League for sure. We're picking up on this tournament as we are already done with all the previous one, the previous ones that we were providing coverage for, except for Double Cup 3, of course, which we still have 2 series left to go. Nice push. Knight's taking the Scorpions down. Oh, good unit control for Uzzi, and he was able to get the Scorpion because of it. If he can close the gap, and he couldn't do it. He would have been able to take the Scorpion down, as this does have minimum range as well. But he couldn't do it in the end. Oh, and also, we're not going to have the status issues that we had with OBS before, remember it? We're having a lot of performance issues. I think I realized what the issue with that was, and we shouldn't have it anymore. So hopefully, the stream is going to be a little bit better now than it was compared to my last stream. What does the World Cup final have to be while I have COVID? And on my mother's birthday? Well, it's going to give you something to do, right? If you have COVID, you're not going to be able to celebrate with your mother, and if you can't go out, I guess that's good, unless you were planning to go attend to the actual match live, perhaps. I see twerk shops coming in now for Uzzi. Beautiful. Yeah, and iBUYPOWER has definitely done a good job over here. Chain bar and armor. It's on the way for iBUYPOWER. Wheelbarrow as well. We don't have wheelbarrow for Uzzi. He does have our bows already. And he's gone for a few extra upgrades. He's got, for instance, Bucking Arrow already. iBUYPOWER doesn't have it. To be fair, he was not really committed to archer units. He's got just the Scorpions over here and then Skirmishers, which he didn't really commit to or upgrade further. So Bucking Arrow is not really going to give him much of anything except for extra damage from the TCs. Instead, we have Bloodlines coming in for iBUYPOWER. So this signals a transition to knights, and he already has the first knight coming up here. And Uzzi's got a camel on the way, but the magnet goes down. That was good from iBUYPOWER. He's the only player right now with a monastery as well, which is definitely the next thing that I would like to see from Uzzi after he's gone for the Siege Workshop. So yeah. Hey Daniela! Hi. Hello. How's it going? Did you enjoy the Grand Malay? The two brothers kind of solve each other? Yeah, in a sense. Beautiful pressure over here. Uzzi is now going for a castle. At the very center, he already had a TC over here. Now this castle is going to give him extra map control, so it's looking good. Crossbows, knights, and camels, a very mighty army composition from Uzzi, and here come the knights, taking the mountains down right away. There we go. Actually, I barely saw some of the games. I was modding in the chat at all times. It was really bad at times, to be honest. Yeah, we were talking about that a little bit earlier before starting the games over here. It seemed to have gotten a little bit better towards the end, I hope. At the very least, I was able to catch the very last bit. I did not try the whole thing because it was very early for me, but it seemed to be better, especially in day 3 compared to day number 1. Day number 1 was pretty bad. Makes me a little bit sad about the image that some of the people in the chat were given for the Age of Empires community at large, but yeah, to be fair, I guess there is no community really. There is no esport community that's going to be really free of toxicity, so I guess Age of Empires is probably still going to be somewhat alright compared to some of the other ones. I think most of the toxicity probably spurred from the fact that it was close casting and a lot of people wanted to see X or Y caster. But yeah, I don't know. Guess coming up now for iBUYPOWER Uzzi. He's got the hill over here, he's got the castle, and iBUYPOWER didn't know about it. Now he knows about it. So where is he? He's going for the castle on the right hand side. This is extremely important. Now that the red player knows about the castle at the center, this should definitely influence his take on the game from this point onwards, because he needs to try and go up to the Imperial Age as soon as possible to try and push Uzzi away from the center. Now, to be fair, he doesn't necessarily need to do it, but because both players are already aware of each other's castle, this is going to turn into a race to the Imperial Age. Nice. Snipes over here. Actually, the castle's not coming up. The crossbows, the Mamelukes, they're taking all the villagers, and while the villager count was about the same just before this began, well, you take a look at it now. How good is that? Castle gets denied. We see another castle coming up over here. The Mamelukes are here. Still the crossbows as well. And that's a lot of villagers coming in, but that's a lot of knights coming up now. iBUYPOWER is going to try and deny this castle as well. He's got the foundation still. Bring the villagers over to try and get it up. If he can clean these units out, the Mamelukes and the crossbows should have still enough knights to go over and try to deny the castle from blue. However, he doesn't seem to have the ability to do so just yet, as there are too many villagers from Uzzi. Gas is coming up, and both guys will get the castles up. In the end, iBUYPOWER was the one to take the most losses trying to get the zone fortification over here. Now it's going to turn into a petard war. And we have petards coming out from iBUYPOWER, but not so from Uzzi. Interestingly enough, the blue player instead is going to try and make a play for the Imperial Age, making use of the market quite heavily. There we go. Yes, the center is higher elevation compared to the surrounding ridge. So indeed, it is the case that Uzzi is going to have a stronger position over here in the trade war potentially. There we go. Is there still gonna be a panel? A panel? What do you mean? Up in the north? Knights are coming in. I like the way that iBUYPOWER is going about this, just trying to split this army up and put pressure in different areas. Otherwise, it's pretty straightforward for Uzzi to defend himself, but in the end, the Mamelukes, the camels, doing pretty alright over here from Uzzi, pushing iBUYPOWER away from the center, and then on the right hand side. We still have some units over here from the red player, but so long as Uzzi's paying attention, he shouldn't really get breached over here. Already has the third house on the way, and the stone wall. Wait a moment, what happened? Uzzi was so close from clicking up to the Imperial Age. He decides against it in the end because of the pressure from iBUYPOWER, and this actually gives the red player the head start to the Imperial Age. Interesting. I was not expecting this. Uzzi, especially with Saracens, right? I think he could have been able to click out to the Imperial Age while still going for units. Obviously not quite as many right away, but yeah, still make use of the market and queue a few extra units and slowly try to ramp up his production while on the way to the Imperial Age, as opposed to going for a bunch of extra units and delaying the Imperial Age so much. Now iBUYPOWER, he does end up taking the castle down. Let's actually rewind this 30 seconds so you can see the petards, right? Yeah. Where is it? Oh, it's just taking it down like this with arrows. All right. Well, in the end, the castle does go down over here for Uzzi. I think he deleted it. But yeah, iBUYPOWER is going to be the first player to the Imperial Age. He's got a second castle on the way. And next year we'll see Nova with Ornlu. Speaking of casters, maybe. I'm certainly hoping that they are going to have more additions coming up, and yeah, I'm feeling pretty positive about the whole thing. So definitely would love to participate if provided the chance, of course. So castle's coming up as Uzzi's going up to the Imperial Age himself. There we go. Only 35 seconds left for iBUYPOWER to get access to the sweet trebuchets he needs to regain control of the center. Here come the camels. The Mamelukes, and I think he can come in. The Mamelukes are so strong though. The foundation does not hold over there. So here comes Uzzi. iBUYPOWER is gonna try and get a contingency TC up over here. A little bit too late though. This is something that he definitely could have tried to go a little bit earlier. Instead now it's going to result in a bunch of villages going down in the end. And he does get the TC up, but he does endure a few losses. So he gets to the Imperial Age, and we have trebuchets already on the way from him. He's gonna be fighting uphill, so if Uzzi commits enough villagers to repair the castles over here, even with double castle trebuchet production, it's gonna be pretty difficult for the red player to knock Uzzi out of the center. Because the blue player still has a lot of units roaming around, pushing the villagers away from resources from iBUYPOWER. The blue player is still looking dominant over here for sure. It's not too far off from the Imperial Age himself, only about 20 seconds, so if he's able to keep the castles up over here for a little while, and he should, once again he's got the advantage for the elevation right. He's gonna be accessing trebuchets himself very soon, 3 seconds or so. And there we go, gets to the Imperial Age. Uzzi needs to go for the traps. He didn't have the resources, now he does. Wait, he saw all the wood though. He's not going for it. Alright, what is the plan over here for Uzzi then? Just full light cavalry. He's got plate, bar, and armor. He could potentially go for Hussar. The Mamelukes are very strong. I guess if he just dives in, he's gonna be able to take the trebuchets down, but then he needs something else to take the castles down with himself. So I'm surprised not to see traps over here. Okay, there we go. Now he's going for some. And there we are. The trebuchets are going down right away to the light cavalry. We have a few Mamelukes over here, but they weren't even that many. The majority of the units, the unique units from Uzzi, were on the right-hand side out of position, and in the end, the light cavalry end up cleaning this up. Well done. There's only one trebuchet left over here for the red player. Meanwhile, Uzzi scanned the trebuchet out himself. I'm pretty sure he was going for 2. I'm not really sure what the second... Okay, there we go. Second one's out right now as well. He's gonna go for it. Once again, because of the elevation, these trebuchets are gonna deal a lot of extra damage to fortifications from iBUYPOWER, and he's going to range this castle for sure. I'm not really sure if he's gonna be able to range this one while still holding on to the hill, but I guess we're going to find out. Beautiful Mamelukes, they are. 2 reactive. He is up, but does not have the actual initiative, in my opinion. Yeah, you were expecting the player to get to the Imperial Age the first, to have a little bit of a head start over here, but iBUYPOWER got the first castle over here up at a huge cost, at too many losses, so that allowed Uzzi to stay on the lead over here, to stay in the driver's seat, despite the fact that he delayed his Imperial Age quite a lot. Trebuchets over here. The quick wall attempt though from iBUYPOWER, but it's not connected. Here come the Hussar once again. That's gonna be one trebuchet going down. 400 resources down the drain. Only one trebuchet left over here for iBUYPOWER, and he started to make a play for bombard cannons, which I like. And iBUYPOWER definitely can go for, but it's not going to be unique to his civilization. Of course, Saracens also get access to them, so we have bombard cannons on the way for Uzzi as well. There we go. Beautiful. Castle crumbles for red. Only one castle left. Yeah, and you know what? This was the farther castle, so this one shouldn't be too difficult. As a matter of fact, he doesn't even need to relocate most of the trebuchets over here. He is trying to fight iBUYPOWER's trebuchets off over here because he's being targeted. But honestly, I feel like it would be better for Uzzi to just try and pack the trebuchet back up, move over to the top of the hill, and try to take the castle down. I think it's going to be faster for him. I think it would have been faster for him to do that as opposed to trying to take on the trebuchets and then just try to make use of the bombard cannons to take the trebuchets down instead. Especially because of the trebuchets' accuracy being so low. It takes a lot of time off Well, the Cherry could have spent taking the castle down and probably would have been able to take it down already. Good defense for iBUYPOWER. Keeps the castle up. There's a bunch of Arbalisters left. And Uzzi's gonna keep on going for more Hussar. And it's good, you know, so long as he's got a meat shield to work with, these Arbalisters will still go down. Potentially to the Mamelukes, although iBUYPOWER can make a play for the castle over here. He could try and bail back towards the castle, pull back towards the castle, and just target the Mamelukes manually. And the castle is going to take care of the Hussar for sure, but we'll see. Unit control definitely will come in. Extremely important over here for iBUYPOWER to keep on holding on. Uzzi, on the other hand, well, still in the driver's seat, but struggling to seal the game in any case. Here comes Uzzi. The quick walls coming out from iBUYPOWER create an artificial choke point for the Arbalisters to work harder, but because of the bombard cannons, actually, it's not the best. And you know what? If iBUYPOWER gets surrounded over here, the Hussar try to take on the Arbalisters and the Arbalisters force into a small area. Here come the bombard cannons! And he's targeting the Cherry, targeting the Arbalisters, man. The bombard cannons are going to just completely destroy this. And there he goes! Those are the shots that I wanted to see, and that's gonna be GG as iBUYPOWER gets completely annihilated. Uzzi takes game number 1, and he goes with a bang, taking all the Arbalisters down, and this was a genius move from Uzzi, so much so that I want to go back 30 seconds and take a look at this in slow motion, because take a look at that. We see the gate coming up from, there we go. The gate coming out from iBUYPOWER over here. This creates a little bit of a choke point for the Arbalisters to work out. The moment he realizes about the bombard cannons, though, the Arbalisters, of course, they cannot really go to the choke point anymore. And in the end, he does get surrounded. So we go from 35 Arbalisters and bang! Down to... Well, by the time he called the GG, I think he had only like 2 alive. Let me take a look. There's one over here. Oh, wow. Actually, he lost everything. And the Arbalisters that I had selected earlier were outside these regions. That is a lot of values. Let's take a look at the bombard cannon. Yeah. 32 kills. Well done. Let's take a look at the achievements, as usual. We're going to see for military. Alright, a better KD for Uzzi. In the end, ends up surpassing about 4-3 KD ratio. For economy, we have a higher economy, a stronger economy for Uzzi. Surprising no one, ever since the villagers went down from iBUYPOWER trying to get the castle up over here. You can see the villager, just kind of, the villager count kind of plummeting over here, right? As he was trying to get the castle up. That allowed Uzzi to get a much stronger economy. If you take a look at the 50% division here, you will see. Well done. Let's go back. And we'll jump into game number 2 in a moment. And here we are, everyone. Welcome back again. What a great game to begin the series with. We have this time around for Uzzi. He's going to be playing on the right-hand side, Arabia. So we have very similar maps. We have Gold Rush already. Now we have Arabia. Both of these open land maps. The difference, of course, is the Gold Rush is going to have the majority of the gold concentrated at the center, making it a very important point of interest. While Arabia, on the other hand, is not going to be quite as much the case, right? For civilizations, Uzzi is playing with Chinese. Meanwhile, iBUYPOWER is playing with Hindustani. So that means that Uzzi is going to begin with 3 extra villagers, albeit at the cost of 200 food and 50 wood. Besides that, we also have for the blue players civilization 5 extra line of sight and 5 higher population support per TC. Besides that, we also see for Uzzi, he gets 10, 15, and 20% cheaper upgrades in the Feudal Castle and Imperial Ages. And for the team bonus, we're gonna have 10% extra food on farms for the Chinese. Now, taking a look at Hindustanis on the other hand, well, these guys will have Still, faster attacking camels. It's going to be 25% faster attacking camels. We get, in addition to that, +1/+1 armor on gunpowder units. Cheaper villagers. At a 10, 15, 20, and 25% discounts depending on the age. And nice! Uzzi's taking 2 of the goats over here. Back to his base. And the players, you know, they have generated very, very closely. They have spawned very, very closely overall for what you're used to on Arabia. And then what do we get for him to stand besides this? For the team bonus, they get also 2 bonus damage from Light Cavalry Hussar and Camel Rider type units against buildings. And let's take a look at the map generation. Starting with the Wool player. Uzzi, he's got the main gold on the right hand side. You can see it over here. We have the secondary golds on the left hand side. None of these is particularly forward. None of these is particularly safe on the back either. However, I would say this is probably the most forward one. It's still mostly to the side. I guess it's forward because of the... Yeah, it's definitely forward. If we take a look at this, right? We just draw a straight line between the players' bases over here. I guess it is technically forward, right? Yeah. But he does have 1 stone in the back, which is good. And then he could potentially go for some walls from here to here, here to here. Something like this would completely secure himself, even the 4 gold, but that'd be a little bit too pricey to go for. I think most likely we're gonna see something like this, perhaps. From here to the berries, from here to the TC, and then from here to the TC, right? So that way he secures this gold. This one not so much, the main one, but then he could potentially go for a... let's say a TC over here once he gets to the castle age, perhaps. Taking a look at the map generation from the red player, we'll see that iBUYPOWER, he's got the main gold down south. We have the secondary golds. Both of these on the back though, so that's actually not terrible. The problem is that this one is around the woodline, so it's not in the best position. It's not going to be easy to secure, right? If he wanted to secure these golds, he would have to go for something like from here to here, perhaps, or something like this. I guess it wouldn't be too bad, and this, when compared to the amount of walls that I was suggesting Uzzi to go for, I think this is probably not any pricier than that. It's just going to be a little bit harder to defend around this area because of it being too far away, so over here I would probably prefer for him to go for a few houses instead. Alright. Village is on the way now. For both these players, iBUYPOWER is going to be the first one to get there, the red player. And Uzzi is going for a second lumber camp on the left hand side, wouldn't it? The same he was collecting from before. This can be kind of bad because now iBUYPOWER's got vision of both these lumber camps. It's going out to the village a little bit earlier. He could potentially send the villager over, right, and try and get a tower up over here, for instance. That'll be enough for him to push both lumber camps away. Here we go. Man, I feel like iBUYPOWER is just wasting such a big chance. He's got the stable on the way. He's gonna try and make a play for scouts. Uzzi is, of course, gonna try and make a play for scouts himself as well. He does go up on 2 extra villagers, but that's the way it works with the Chinese. Took a little bit longer though because of the LTC time, but it's fine. So it's gonna be scouts from both these guys. We have double Bidax. Horse Scholar coming in for Uzzi. iBUYPOWER is not going for Horse Scholar yet. He's got double Bidax though. He needs to go for it soon. Yeah, he's got the walls coming up. Alright. So, definitely feels like a wasted chance over here. Even if Uzzi's got the scout out right now and could probably have gotten vision of any villager going forward, he was distracted by iBUYPOWER's own scouts. So I don't think he actually actively scouted behind the wall. He's got no idea! This is such a wasted opportunity from iBUYPOWER. Just one tower over here, man. Could do so much damage. A single villager, even. We'll do the trick. There we are. Here come the scouts. Only the one spearman over there with a hill advantage. iBUYPOWER could very well take the spearman down pretty easily. He's got 4 scouts already. He would still have enough HP left to go forward and try and get some villagers. Instead, he's roaming around, and Combi, or actually Uzzi is roaming around himself as well. The quick walls from iBUYPOWER, they are now coming out, so that's gonna be the first villager going down. Yes, sir. Here come the scouts. The quick walls do connect this time around for iBUYPOWER around the wood line. And then on the right hand side, the red player is still struggling to find any damage whatsoever. The quick walls coming in from Uzzi over here. They're just on time. Once again though, I think he takes a hill advantage over here. He takes the spearman down easy. And Uzzi is not really going for too many extra spearmen. Notice he's got just a third one coming out right now. Just so that he can protect all his resources at the same time with 1 spearman each. So here comes iBUYPOWER. That is an awful engagement. Ends up losing so much HP. I think it was probably paying attention to the left hand side. Yeah, most likely. Alright. And now these scouts are about half HP. It's not too good anymore. There we go. The HP pool for Uzzi Scouts Army is so much better right now as well. Oh, by the way, guys, I have some more news too. I've been working a lot in the last couple of days, not only on stream stuff and the channel trailer, but also in future tournaments. I think you're going to be excited when the time comes to make an official announcement about it. I just want you to know that there is stuff coming up, if all goes well, hopefully next year. And in addition to that, the audio interface is already in the country. I just need to wait for it to arrive to my house. Nice snipe over here from iBUYPOWER. It's unbelievable that he was actually able to get a villager down over here after taking so much damage from the spearman in the end. Hot tub stream? No hot tub stream, no jacuzzi stream. Don't have any jacuzzis over here. That is the issue, right? That is the main reason. So yeah, in the end, I just took the L. Amazon kept the money, and I just had to purchase the item again from a different store. And yeah, it's already on the way, and it's already in Argentina, so it's hopefully going to be here in the next week or so. There we go. Good defense overall for Uzzi and for iBUYPOWER over here, rather. And Uzzi is unable to come in. The red player is going to be the first player to go up to the castle edge. Yes. There we are. Those contracts were count onwards and upwards. Yeah, I don't think that was the issue. I think the issue was definitely with Amazon. But it's whatever. At this point, I've already given up on it, so. Another villager goes down from Uzzi. So far, he's taken the most losses, interestingly enough. Oh! Quick wall. Not connecting still. Only Spearman over here for iBUYPOWER to work with, so it's alright. There we go. The archers are coming back from. Uzzi should be able to clean these units up if iBUYPOWER is not paying attention. The red player is, though. And instead, we see iBUYPOWER go for a second TC on the left-hand side. Well, this is still taking a little bit longer to get to the castle age and still. So I'm kind of wondering over here, is this gonna be any good for Uzzi? In the previous game, Castle Age came in very, very close from both these players because we had a very passive fuel age. And I was wondering if that was going to be the norm or the exception. And well, game number 2 was definitely a lot more aggressive compared to game number 1. So I would imagine it's not necessarily going to be the norm, right? To have very passive fuel age and just try to play fast castle every time, but iBUYPOWER does get the better end of the deal this time around. He's going to have the second TC already up, while Uzzi is only now going for the second TC. However, the bull player does have a third TC on the way too. These are Rex. These are Rex. I'm not exactly sure when these plays were played. When these games were played, sorry. And yeah, we're trying to catch up with T90's Titan League. We're going to have one series only for today, this one. And then tomorrow we're going to try to cover 2. And then the day after tomorrow we're going to try to cover 2 as well. We're going to try to keep up with around 36. Hopefully we'll be able to cover all of the sets, right? It's going to be 18 sets. There we are. Another villager going down from Uzzi. Definitely want to take the most losses. Already racking up 6 villager losses. There we go. Camel's roaming around the right hand side from iBUYPOWER. On the left hand side, the crossbows trying to breach through. And these crossbows shouldn't really struggle to come in, right? Tower is completely garrisoned though, so he'll need to make use of the scouts over here to try and draw the tower fire. Oh, nice farm snipe over here. Was that a farm snipe actually? Yeah, I'm not really sure if Uzzi deleted it. I think it was a farm snipe. If you delete it, I think the farm completely disappears. Yeah. And there we go. Scorpions providing great defenses for iBUYPOWER. Uzzi on the other hand, still behind in work account. Because going out to the castle age a little bit later, getting the second TC up a little bit later, the third TC up. Maybe a little bit sooner, but he did get a lot of extra idle TC time compared to iBUYPOWER. So far, the replay is looking good. So camels and scorpions. This is not necessarily something that I was expecting to see from the red player. And this is not really something that you would probably expect to see on a little bit of a higher level game. Because the scorpions are still pretty susceptible to, well, anything really. They're going to be good against spearmen and archer type units, right? But in the end, They're taking a lot of damage over here. One goes down to the camels, the other one goes to very low HP, and if Uzzi adds so much as a single mangle over here, should be able to defend himself against the scorpions just fine. Nice pick over here. Another villager going down. So far, up to 10 villagers dead already. From Mr. Uzzi, and he's roaming around still with the crossbows, unable to find any damage. He's trying to stay beyond the line of sight of iBUYPOWER, but in the end, now the red player knows about the crossbows up in the north. Yeah, and he's going to react. Well done. There's some of the villagers inside the TC. Unlikely that Uzzi will be able to get any damage done over here with these units. Meanwhile, iBUYPOWER, he's going for more camels as well. He's gotten out to 3 scorpions once again. Not really sure where the 3rd scorpion is, but he's managed to get enough stone to go for the castle. And here comes the castle drop. And that is not the good location. It is a good location. Of course, definitely would have preferred to see the castle come up over here instead in between the goals, right? But that would have been extremely hard to get up. There we go. Castle's coming up anyway, and Uzzi's taking a lot of extra villager losses. Game number 1 was so favoring for the blue player, but this one is not favoring the blue player too much. It's not looking particularly strong, and iBUYPOWER, the castle up, is going to take the CC down. It's going to deny one of the secondary golds from Uzzi, and then the blue player is going to be left on the gold that he had next to the TC, and the gold that he's got over here towards the south that is completely exposed still, and the 4 TC that he's going for is not going to provide any protections over there either, so here come the camels. In the end, he won't be able to get much of anything done, even if he's got bonus damage against buildings. That's enough villagers to get the TC out for sure, and the TC will still take the camels down. If iBUYPOWER tries to commit to taking the TC down because of having no pierce armor up in the north. So he should be able to take the siege workshop down over here. He will. Yes, sir. Beautiful. And now we're gonna see a counter castle drop coming in from Uzzi. He's gotta buy the stone that he misses though, about 200. 201. And where's the castle coming up? Interestingly enough, notice that Uzzi, his approach to this game is a little bit more aggressive. Although I think it might be just due to the fact that he cannot castle this gold because of the tower and because of the castle that we already have from iBUYPOWER. So instead, we'll see the castle come up over here to deny one of the secondary golds from iBUYPOWER, and iBUYPOWER is going to try to get the tower up over here. And this is a beautiful location for the tower too. It's going to range the villagers exactly, right? And we don't have too many villagers over there now. I don't think that's going to be enough though. There's still a watchtower only, so it's not the highest damage. And here come the Gulam though. iBUYPOWER is bringing the villagers over. Gotta be careful over there. Cannot engage against the crossbows. And there we go. Yeah, and Uzzi's just going to call the GG. Even if iBUYPOWER cannot make a play for villagers against villagers, he's still able to clean the units up for the most part. And push the villagers away. This was really well played. iBUYPOWER takes game number 2 to equalize the series over here 1-1. And we'll take a look at game number 3 in a moment then. Let's go for the achievements one more time. Better KDE for iBUYPOWER in the end, higher than 3-2. We see for economy, a stronger economy for iBUYPOWER too, collecting about 3,400 extra resources. And for society, we have a higher villager max count for iBUYPOWER, but not only that, he only lost about 3 villages throughout the game. Meanwhile, you take a look at Uzzi, and he ended up losing 26 villagers throughout the game himself as well. Well done. And here we are in game number 3. Tiebreaker to see who gets on the lead. Yes, Mika. A little break over here from English, just to explain myself a little bit better. Sorry, we're gonna go back to English in 1 second, but el otro día participé en el concurso de Manco, de cuánto sabe de League. Y me pidió nominar a alguien, nominé a Cebatero, pero después se me ocurrió, ¿cómo no nominé a Mika? Pero no sé si ya participaste. Anyway, back to English. Yeah. Not yet. Rip. But it's cool. It's cool. I'm pretty sure someone's going to nominate you at some point. And it's going to give you the opportunity to humiliate yourself if you score low. I was so worried, actually. It's 25 questions. And it's 15 points from the first 15. And then for the last 10, you can get up to 20 points. So you can go up to 35 points. And I was honestly not really sure how well I was going to do. I thought I was going to get like 13 points. I don't know, maybe 11, something like that. In the end, I ended up doing pretty well. But yeah, there were a few mistakes. In one of the questions, for instance, was which civilization, other than the American civilizations, doesn't get access to cannon galleon? And I had Hans. I knew 100%. I was 100% sure that it was the case that Hans did not get cannon galleon. And I have some certainty about Cumans, let's say 66%, 75%. I thought I remembered Cumans didn't have cannon galleon either, but because the question was what was the only civilization without cannon galleon, I said Hans, yes, convinced 100%. I said, okay, maybe the Cumans got it added, right? And no, it was actually an incorrect question over there, because the Huns did not get cannon galleon, but the Cumans didn't get it either. So yeah, the question actually had Cumans as the only correct option. It was not the case, but I did answer incorrectly another question about the cost of gold shaft mining. I knew that it was 200 food and 150 wood. For some reason I said 150 gold, I don't know why. He said it was correct, it was incorrect of course, so in the end it kind of cancels out. So my score kind of remained frozen over there, but yeah, it's in the moment, right? Yeah, 24 points is okay. I'm just kind of sad because if I had gotten the Han question correctly, and then also the gold shaft mining question correctly, I would have been 26 and I would have been tied up for first spot. Yeah, it's okay. It's not too shabby. For an 1100, it's not too bad. Anyway, it's what you say in the moment, right? It doesn't matter if I say, oh yeah, I knew that one afterwards. Regardless, let's get back into this game. We haven't really gotten too deep into it. The players haven't even clicked up to the fuel H yet. But let's take a look at the civilizations. Uzzi's playing with Japanese. iBUYPOWER is playing with Bengalis. Bengalis is a very interesting choice. This civilization, let's actually start with the Japanese. For the blue player, we're going to see that he gets 33% faster attacking infantry units starting in the fuel H. We also see in addition to that, for the Japanese, 5, 10, 15, and 20% faster working fission ships in the Dark Field Castle and Imperial Ages, and he's got a 50% discount on drop-off buildings, as well as for the team bonus, 50% extra line of sight on galley line ships. Now, I don't think that's going to be too relevant over here, because if we are ever going to see players go for Navy, it's most likely not going to be fires. However, iBUYPOWER's got a very interesting bonus for his civilization over here. The Bengalis, they get... actually, They get elephants that take less bonus damage, and they have some conversion resistance, if I'm not mistaken. That's one of the things that they are going to have. But then in addition to that, the Bengalis also have 15 HP regeneration per minute for ships. And that is huge. On a map like this, if you end up taking an engagement that leaves you with weak units, so long as you are still ahead, so long as you are still the only player with Navy, you know, those boats are going to regenerate HP on their own. You don't need to repair them, and it's pretty handy because you can only do so much by bringing the villager over and repairing, right? You can only repair one at a time. Regardless, Uzzi's the first one to get up. He's got militias coming out, so it's going to be Minotaurs. He's bringing in a bunch of villagers, so he could try to go for the pond, but if you take a look at the scouting information, he knows about the Woolen over here. He knows about the Woolen being the only one for iBUYPOWER, so we could see a tower come up, and indeed, we're gonna have the tower come up around here for the bull player. Should be good for him to push the villagers away. And Minotaur's upgrade is gonna make it so much harder for iBUYPOWER to actually keep the walls up. And here comes the engagement. That is not something that iBUYPOWER actually wants to do. He does not losing a villager over there. Because the scout goes down, he cannot body block it anymore. The rest of the villagers to take them down with the Minotaurs. But still, one villager over here, plus he gets the tower up, is fantastic. You take a look at the range of this tower, and he actually has enough range to target the villagers from iBUYPOWER. So Uzzi's looking great. Even if he's behind in economy a little bit, he ended up getting a lot of extra idle TC time, but you know, by getting the villager down and potentially getting another one over here, 2 villages down already. Oh man, this is beautiful, beautiful stuff for Uzzi. He's done so much damage. Yeah, and the tower, well, the tower is coming up. Easy, there we go. But those are so many weak villagers over here now for the red player. And blue is not paying attention though, the Minotaurs. Could have gotten a villager over here already, I think. It's still going to end up getting one though. We're gonna see now iBUYPOWER is gonna try to get the walls, but he cannot do it on time. So third village goes down from iBUYPOWER. And Uzzi brings the archer over as well, and that is another villager dead. Man, this is so good with the forward archer range. It's fantastic. Now we have the tower coming out. Now this is not anywhere near as sneaky as he could have tried to go for. However, because of the fishing ship that iBUYPOWER's got over here, he would have spotted the duck anyway. And so far, Uzzi has been able to get a lot of damage done. Interestingly enough, still, worker count is the same for both these players at 31 each. Tower goes down. You're expecting this to be the case after the defensive tower comes up because of the defender's advantage. Yeah, and Uzzi, well, he can kind of find comfort in the fact that even if the villager count is the same, which of course the players do not know, that they are not aware of it necessarily, by having gotten so many villagers down, that's going to represent a huge eco loss for iBUYPOWER because he had to pay for those villagers, and ultimately the villagers did not end up paying off, right? Let's take a look at gather economy time. It's a little bit higher for Uzzi, despite having 4 villagers forward for the longest time. He's got already a 13-minute lead in gather economy time compared to iBUYPOWER. I would say it's probably unlikely that Uzzi will be able to get too much damage done over here. In his position, I'd probably prefer to, instead of going for fire galleys, just go for a few demos and try to find the fishing ships. Because if he takes an engagement with fires versus fires, and there are any units left for iBUYPOWER after the engagement, they are going to regenerate HP on their own. On the right hand side, we have another sneaky dog coming in from Uzzi. Now this one seems better. Not quite. iBUYPOWER is already aware of it. Oh, and Uzzi's got no idea. There's a dock over here, so he's gonna start going for fishing ships. While the red player is already going for fire galleys. Nice. It's 4 villagers, real commandos, G.I. Joe type villagers, yeah. They don't care, man. They don't care. They are going for another tower. This is a Oh, he was trying to get the goal over here, and iBUYPOWER pushed him away with this tower. Let me take a look at the range, the towers from the red player. I think probably would have been better for the blue player to go for the tower over here instead. I think that probably would have given him better range, right? Yeah, a tower over here would actually would have. Oops, sorry. A tower there actually would have allowed him to push the villagers away from here. There we go. Oh, a sneaky villager from iBUYPOWER. You gotta wonder, what did Uzzi have to do with a villager over here in the middle of nowhere? Maybe, I think this villager from Uzzi probably chased the villager from iBUYPOWER from a very long distance. That is why she is kind of weak, and he's not. Nice defense for iBUYPOWER. In the end, he's gonna be the one taking this one. Yeah. The red player is certainly doing pretty alright over here on the right hand side because he was the only player aware of the enemy dock. He's got already the fire galleys targeting the dock, and doesn't seem like Uzzi will be able to get much of anything done over here. Still a villager trapped, and up in the north, Uzzi's gonna keep on roaming around trying to get more towers up. This one will push the villagers away from gold if he's able to get it and prevent iBUYPOWER from getting his own defensive tower up on time as well. And it's been a very interesting game so far. The red player, however, despite the fact that Uzzi had a better gallery economy time so far, will be the first one to go up to the castle age though if you take a look at this. As Uzzi, of course, and spending a lot of resources going for the archer ranges, going for the archers, going for the docks, the navy units, right? And overall, the engagement subs certainly favor the bull player. Nice shot! There we are. Beautiful. And it seems like actually Uzzi's coming out on top over here, which shouldn't have been the case. We have no extra navy coming out, so it seems like blue's gonna come out on top. I hate when 2000 needle players don't make walls around 4 towers. Well, the walls over here wouldn't have really mattered too much. The walls around the first tower he went for, probably so, because I think that one got taken down by villagers. But if you have a defensive tower come up from your opponent, usually it's not going to be villagers that take the tower down, so much so as the defensive tower. Where's the villager? Oh, she's here. She's fine. I think Uzzi lost track of the veil. Yeah. This is the villager. He already had him left on side. This is the villager that was chasing the villager away. And iBUYPOWER actually ends up getting away with it. Uzzi's position up in the north though is so good. Should be able to take the fishing ships down. Alright, got this on the way. There we go. Yeah, but iBUYPOWER doesn't seem to be paying too much attention. It's going to end up losing everything. Well, he cannot really fight 2 fire galleys with a single one, so it's understandable that he doesn't try to engage right away. And then on the right hand side, Uzzi is going to take also the right hand side pond. My lord! He went for a second dock over here. Holy moly, let's get the villager still. You know what? iBUYPOWER is going after the castle age first, but because of all the pressure that Uzzi is being put in around the red player, it doesn't seem to me like iBUYPOWER will actually take advantage of his head start to the castle age. The villager he had forward never went for anything, and if she tried to go for a dock as well, she would have gotten spotted. As you can see, Uzzi's gone for the one galley over here, and that's a beautiful thing as well, because if he went for a fire galley over here, just to keep an eye on the shoreline, the fire galley wouldn't have been able to prevent... Yeah, okay. That's gonna be a castle GG. As he gets to the castle age, he calls a GG right there. So Uzzi's going to take game number 3. And it was fairly uneventful, in the sense that nothing really happened right now to potentially prompt a GG, right? He was trying to get a defensive siege workshop up over here, and We had some archers. I think he definitely would have still been able to get a siege workshop up, but yeah, he just realized he wasn't in the loser's position. So let's take a look at the achievements one more time. Game number 3 goes in favor of Uzzi. And of course, game number 4 was always going to be match point. Let's go and take a look at... what am I doing here? Let's take a look at the achievements, sorry. There we go. Predicted for Uzzi approaching 3-2 for economy. A stronger economy for Uzzi as well. And we saw that he had a higher gather economy time. In the end, he ended up getting about 2009 extra resources compared to the red player. And for society, we see a villager max count that is higher for Uzzi compared to iBUYPOWER. He did not take a single villager loss, and he lost a single fishing ship. One worker going down this game for Uzzi. iBUYPOWER on the other hand, and that losing 8 workers over here, 8 villagers actually, and all 6 fishing ships, so that's going to be 14 workers. Count down the drain for the red player. What was that? The town bell. Okay. For game number 4 then, it's gonna be at the Kama. We have Bulgarians for Uzzi. For iBUYPOWER we have Huns. And so far it's been pretty close, you know, the players have been just trading games. Game after game. And you know what? If this is the last game of the series, we're gonna do another one. How about that? Because I think the time's still alright, right? Yeah, this one... Yeah, if this is the last one, then this is probably going to be less than 2 hours, so we could do another one for sure. Getting into the game and starting with the players and the civilizations, as we often do. Uzzi on the right hand side, he's playing with Bulgarians. Wait. Oh yeah. For a moment over there I saw the pawns and I was like, didn't I just cast this? I don't know, this is Atacama. This version of Atacama actually does have the pawns. So yeah, anyway. It's good, right? Isn't it? Bulgarians will get access to Krepos, will get Militia 9 upgrades for free, so Minotaurs, Lone Swords, 200 Swordsmen are going to come in for free, the upgrades, not the units of course, and besides that we also have for Uzzi. For the Bulgarians, a 50% stone discount on TCs, as well as a 50% food discount on Blacksmith and Siege Workshop upgrades. For the team bonus, they also get 80% faster work in blacksmiths. And taking a look at the red player civilization, the Huns over here, we'll see that first off, iBUYPOWER is going to get 200 population support from the get-go at the cost of 100 wood at the beginning. He gets 50% accuracy on trebuchets as well. My lord, he's actually using it. The town bell. But yeah. In addition to that, 50% accuracy as opposed to 15% in trebuchets, we also get 10 and 20% cheaper cavalry archer type units in the Castle and Imperial Ages. So the team bonus finally for iBUYPOWER is going to give him 20% faster working stables. And that is really good, especially as early as the fuel age. We could see the red player try to put pressure by leveraging the faster working stables and potentially outproducing Uzzi for scouts. Thank you for the follow and welcome to the channel. Let me take a look at the map generation for both these players, starting with the blue player. And hey, we have a dock already coming up over here for blue. Fantastic. So taking a look at the map generation, we'll see that blue's got the main goal forward in front of the TC. He's got the secondary goal so far away up in the north, beyond the woodline even. And then on the right hand side, we have another goal over here as well. That's going to be the other secondary goal. And this one is, I'm not really sure it would be the safest. I guess it's probably the safest. Usually I would say the center one is the best one because you can just go for one tower. And this is going to provide protection to both your lumberjacks and your gold miners, right? But because it's beyond the wool line over here and it's super forward, I think it's probably going to be better for him to try and collect from this one instead. Taking a look at the map generation for the red player on the other hand, what do we get over here? We're going to see first off the main goal towards the south. We have where's the secondary goal? Secondary goals on the right hand side, very far away. And the other secondary goals towards the south, very far away. I think this is probably a little bit worse for him. Actually, you know what? I think probably not, because similarly to what I was talking about for the possibility of a tower, we could have seen something like a tower over here to provide protection to both the gold miners and the lumberjacks. In the end, he's going to start collecting from here instead. So he's going to take the gold from here, and that means that he could potentially bring the tower over here, right? And that would be good. Still, I could potentially protect the berries over there as well, a little bit. That's gonna be about it. iBUYPOWER is the only player currently without a dock, by the way. Uzzi was just already making a play for the center. Yeah, send some forward villagers though. We're gonna see a tower come up from the red player, from the blue player against red. Where? Let's say probably around here, right? Yeah, that'd be good. Let me take a look at the point of view of the red player. And that should be a blue tower, by the way, not a red one. Nope. Okay. We have to wait until he gets to the village, of course. He was delayed by going for the dock and spending a few extra resources in the Dark Age. Meanwhile, iBUYPOWER is not gone for the dock yet. Getting the walls up and archer range. And Uzzi's just waiting, man. The timing over here was a little bit off, I reckon. But there we go. And here we have the tower coming up. That is a beautiful tower as well. Take a look at the range. Completely pushes the villagers away. Fantastic. And now he knows. Now he knows about the tower. He's going for his own defensive tower. We have still 4 villagers over here from Uzzi. And this could very well be the same type of game that we saw in game number 3, right? Where he was just going for full tower push over here, putting pressure, and iBUYPOWER kind of crumbled against it. Uzzi's trying to make the same thing work one more time. And there we go. Yeah, the tower's coming up once again. Very, very similar to what we saw before. And once again, thank you so much to everybody who's following. Very much appreciated. Hope you guys are enjoying so far. We might see a villager go down over there. A little bit sloppy from iBUYPOWER, and the villager does go down. But yeah, you know, Uzzi is actually making a repeat for this one. It seems like he is. The scouts for Hans? No. It's because just the archers coming out so far. It's been good. He was expecting to be fighting men-at-arms. Now we have the scouts coming in from Uzzi instead. Beautiful quick walls over here from iBUYPOWER. So we're gonna see a villager going down, and while the blue player got a very close start compared to game number 3 in this one, is not going to develop anywhere near as favorably for him, as well as you can see the villagers going down over there to the archers. Well done, iBUYPOWER cleans this up. And now we have a pretty comparable work account for both these players. However, Uzzi has had the fishing ships for a while. And this helps mitigate losing the villagers forward. Of course, you want to keep the villagers alive. They're going to be better overall compared to fishing ships. But if it weren't because of the dock over there, the bull player will be in a much more precarious position right now. I think this would be a good time for iBUYPOWER to try and make a play for water himself. The red player could potentially go for one dock perhaps around here. And yeah, and just try to collect the fish. Alternatively, he could actually go for the dock over here towards the south, right? And then just get one unit out and like a galley or a fire galley, and then just try to patrol along the shoreline just to get vision. Make sure he doesn't get caught off guard by a sneaky dock. There we are. The game has stabilized for the most part. Uzzi is coming in with scouts, roaming around the left-hand side. A little bit of counter push from iBUYPOWER. You know, Uzzi still remains ahead in worker count though. Oh, nice knife. Maybe not so much. Not for so long anymore. Yeah, and the scouts on the left-hand side didn't really achieve much of anything. The archers on the right-hand side got the one villager, but they are getting pushed away by the skirmishers. Hey, and we got a dock here. Interesting. I was actually kind of expecting he was going to go for it in a different place, but it's okay. Okay. Here comes the counter push once again from Uzzi. This time around, though, with the skirmishers, so long as he's paying attention, should be able to get a pretty decent trade. It's gonna take on the spearman. There we go. There you are. The scouts roaming around. Now Uzzi has the potential to get some more damage done so long as he pays attention and does not get sniped for free by the spearman. And we're gonna see one village going down over there. Not quite. In the end, he does end up losing 2 scouts over here to the spearman. That is exactly what I was saying he needs to try and avoid. And take advantage of the mobility of the scouts for. And he cannot really do much of anything. He's got 2 additional scouts over here, so he's up to 6 once again. Out of 7, 6 are forward. And I guess the one thing that's really going in favor of Uzzi is that he's disrupting iBUYPOWER's economy a little bit. So you can see that he had a bunch of idle villagers over here, only now he's trying to go for extra farms. Alright, so it's unlikely Uzzi will be able to get too much damage done over here. Meanwhile, on the other hand, we'll see iBUYPOWER come forward. He's got bloodlines on the way. Seems to be committing to the scout play himself. And do we have a second stable though? For the red player? We don't! It's just the one stable for iBUYPOWER. Second stable is coming up now. Yes. And this makes a lot more sense. Going for bloodlines, scale bar the number certainly indicates an intention to go for full scout production, so the second stable definitely comes in quite handy. Meanwhile, Uzzi on the other hand, Uzzi back home, taking a look at his production buildings. He already has 2 stables, yes. And he already has scale bar and armor. He's got 14 as well, but no bloodlines for the bull player so far. Looking a little bit stronger for military count though. 21 to 11 right now. Favoring the blue player. Here we go. Muted. No, no. Not too much just yet. The big engagement is brewing though. It's coming up. And there we are now. This is what I was waiting for. But Bloodlines is going to make such a big difference. And Uzzi decides to engage without it for some reason. He's got the Spearman over here and the Archers to work with as well. But in the end, Bloodlines is just too strong. And just as he completely loses all the scouts he finished researching Bloodlines, but iBUYPOWER over here in a much better position now. Even if the military count is not looking particularly great for the red player, just being able to bring Uzzi down to about the same military count as the red player puts him in a pretty good spot. You take a look at the KD over here and you can see that Uzzi ended up losing a lot of extra units compared to iBUYPOWER, so that should give the red player a much better position over here when thinking of going up to the castle age as well. He's basically trained fewer units, spent a lot less resources, and still has managed to stay ahead in worker count, or to get ahead in worker count now with the efficient ships, of course, and to defend themselves successfully with a lower military count. So this is really good, and iBUYPOWER seems like he's gonna be the first one to go up to the castle age. Defense tower comes up by the goal. Well played. Good reaction. But if he is the first one to go up to the castle age, then that should put them in a position to potentially take the game. However, Uzzi's got a market on the way to try and balance his economy. He's got too much gold right now, and if he balances his economy, he should be on his way to the castle age as well. Seems like it's going to be pretty close for both these guys. I wonder if Uzzi knew the enemy already has Bloodlines when he committed to that fight. I think he did. I think he knew. I think he kind of misassessed, if that's a word. Hopefully it is, the situation, because I think he was expecting the engagement to last a little bit longer. He was expecting his scouts to have still almost full HP by the time Bloodlines kicked in, because he had archers, he had spearmen as well, and skirmishers over there in the mix. Technically it would have been a better fight for him if he had Bloodlines. So I think he tried to lure iBUYPOWER to take the engagement by approaching without the upgrade. And then he probably calculated the research time, the remaining research time, wrong. This is good though from Uzzi. He's getting a bunch of villagers down over here. iBUYPOWER is trying to get a tower up. Now this is a tower that he actually doesn't need necessarily. If he just got a quick wall up over here, he would have been fine. He's got this tower. Probably would have preferred for the red player to try and bring the villagers back home. In the end, that is a bunch of villagers going down. He's going to take the most eco loss so far, and the tower does come up in the end. It's a good tower because it protects the first one, but miscalculated. Okay, there you go. Thank you, PH. Yes. So yeah, it's a good tower, but it's not one that he needed to lose villagers over. 4. Castle Age is coming up now for Uzzi. iBUYPOWER is going to be there a little bit closer. And the monastery on the way now for iBUYPOWER as well. Right hand side. Scouts roaming around. No light cavalry upgrade coming in though. No, it's just got knights on the way. I presume the red player's got just 2 stables still. Oh no, he added a 3rd stable. Where is it? Right there. That's really, really good. If he can actually sustain production from all 3, that's going to put him in a good spot. But Uzzi's going for the exact same approach as well. Triple stable production over here. Both these guys will be sticking to 1 TC full aggression. And when that's the case, You're usually expecting Huns to make a play for Cavalry Archers as opposed to Knights over here. Otherwise, I think I'm liking Uzzi a little bit better. Remember, the player gets cheaper blacksmith upgrades, so he already has gone for chain bar than armor, right? He's got husbandry on the way. And iBUYPOWER, on the other hand, I would probably be expecting him to make a play for Cavalry Archers, but it's not the case. And I am liking Uzzi's potential over here, to be fair. However, because of iBUYPOWER's head start to the Castle Age, it seems like he might still be able to get a better engagement, even if it's just with Knights. Simply because he's been able to mass more units a little bit earlier compared to Uzzi. iBUYPOWER should buy a TC on wood. That'll be good. Yes, you could say the same for Uzzi as well, because now the Knights are not really going to struggle to take down houses too much or to take down palisades, so both players would certainly benefit from it. And interestingly enough, we have a TC coming up from iBUYPOWER next to the gold instead, which also makes sense. You want to protect. There is so much that you want to protect over here for sure. The gold, and I guess with having 2 towers over here, that's also going to help. But yeah, definitely a TC around the wood over here would be good. Much stronger military count right now for iBUYPOWER, guys. It's not even close. On the right hand side, the scouts took villagers completely exposed from Uzzi. You count the rest of the Knights. Yeah, notice he took his sweet time to get a TC up over here. This is not necessarily for villager production, although he does queue it up. But it was mainly for protection, and I definitely agree that he would benefit greatly from having an extra TC coming up near the woodline. And Uzzi's gonna try to get the TC close to the stone, and this makes a big difference because he's playing with Bulgarians, right? So you want to collect stones so that you can take advantage of the crepos. This is what I was talking about. Knights won't really struggle to take down the house. iBUYPOWER eventually would do so. Uzzi's bringing a bunch of Knights over, and iBUYPOWER is going to get pushed away from here. But this is not even the main army from iBUYPOWER. And now he's making a transition to Cavalry Archers. This I like a lot better, honestly, for iBUYPOWER. With this, I think it changes the game, absolutely. Ideally, I would have preferred for him to go for a triple archer range, Cavalry Archer production, and then add some complementary Knights as a meat shield as opposed to the other way around. But we'll see if he can get to the numbers he needs right now. His Knights are not really that effective. We have the pikemen chasing them away from Uzzi's base on the right hand side, and then the rest of the units are on the left. So he needs to kind of group up. Especially now that he's going for Cavalry Archers. Yeah, Ballistics is coming in over here for iBUYPOWER as well, yes. There we go. A little bit of a choke point over here. The Cavalry Archers, man, they are not great in numbers though. And where are the rest of the Knights? They are in the middle of nowhere. Trying to knock the walls down. And then the rest of the units from iBUYPOWER over here completely exposed. And this is not good. Here come the Knights. He opened the gate and let the enemy in. We have a lot of villagers over here still exposed. Even if the tower is there, only is going to be good for 5 villagers at a time. So that's a lot of villagers going down. It's going to be a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 villagers going down already. iBUYPOWER's got its own raid going on the right hand side. Was able to get 2 villagers down for the most part. Hey, Crowdplasm. Hi, welcome. Beautiful. I have power ready for a castle. He's got the resources, yes, Uzzi. He did get a second TC close to the stone, so he could have enough to go for a Krepos very soon and potentially defend against the possibility of a castle drop from iBUYPOWER. Next viewer number? I'm not really sure. I never take a look at viewership. I just try to do my best regardless. But this does make me wonder then. How many here are keeping track of the series from T90's Titan League? How many of you guys have been trying to keep up with the tournament? How many of you have been watching live series? And take a look at that! As we have a castle coming out from iBUYPOWER at the center, we have a Krepos foundation appear from Uzzi. Won't be able to get this one up though. That's a lot of cavalry archers from the red player roaming around. The castle seems like it should come up for the red player. And it's a good location. Yeah, defends the wood. Prevents a forward Krepos from disrupting his economy as well. As with this castle coming up over here, there is no location the bull player will be able to pursue with a Krepos drop that would allow him to push the villagers away from wood, for instance. So this is good. It does come at the cost. A bunch of villagers do go down over there, but it doesn't matter. Uzzi was on the back foot already by quite a lot. Behind by about 1,400 points, and if you take a look at population, he was definitely the one to struggle the most this game. iBUYPOWER does. Takes game number 4, and we are gonna have a full series for the first series of the day. I hope you guys are looking forward to it. I'll be right back. Let's actually go through the achievements first, but then I do need to go to the bathroom. We have from military, a very nice KD over here. iBUYPOWER in the end is gonna get better than 1-to-1 KD ratio, about 11-to-10 for economy. A stronger economy collecting, wow, almost 6,000 extra resources. For society, much higher villager count over here for iBUYPOWER compared to Uzzi, and in the end, both these players ended up taking a lot of losses. Going to be 29 villagers going down for iBUYPOWER, no fishing ships going down. Versus Uzzi, who ended up losing 27 villagers and no fishing ships. So in the end, it was better eco KD for Uzzi, but because of the extra villagers from iBUYPOWER, the only player to really make use of the second TC, he was able to offset for that. And if you take a look, yes, the other TC time for Uzzi is great, but also he got the second TC up and didn't really produce from it. It was mostly for defense. So here we are, the decider, the final game of a full series. Taking a look at the players, civilizations, potentially the map generation as well, starting up in the north. We'll see that Uzzi's got Mongols, and down the south is going to be facing iBUYPOWER, who's playing with Persians. Up in the north, Uzzi will get 40% faster working hunters because of this civilization. We also have a 30% extra HP, unlike every Hussar and Step Lancer line units from Mongols. In addition to 25% faster attack and cavalry archer type units, and for the team bonus, Mongols will have also extra line of sight on scouting units, while iBUYPOWER civilization on the other hand will provide them with 50 extra food and 50 extra wood upon starting the game, twice the HP on TCs and docks, which work 10, 15, and 20% faster in the field of Castle and Imperial Ages. Besides that, the red player also gets for the team bonus 2 bonus damage against archer type units from night line units. This Jungle Swamp, you might remember this one. We had this map in several tournaments in the past. Let's take a look at what the map generation is looking like for both of these players. Starting with the blue player up in the north, we'll see that Uzzi, it's got the main goal on the back, which is great. It's got the secondary goal on the right hand side towards the north, and then there is a left hand side secondary goal as well. So this is going to be pretty standard with the 1 main goal and 2 secondary goals per player, right? And then we have the same situation with stone compared to standard map generations, where we have 1 main stone and 1 secondary stone. Now both of these are very far away for the bull player. The one thing that I certainly do like for his map generation is this one goal in the back. And I mean, he could try to make a play for walls, right? But it's going to be pretty difficult because of other type of trees that we have over here. But eventually, if he does end up making sure there are no holes over here, he could secure this one. He could potentially even secure this goal as well. Although if he wants to go for the walls like this, he's gonna need to go for houses as opposed to palaces because that's too far away. We might see a village going down over there though. There is no loom and the villager crumbled. Yes sir, that is so close. Doink! He gets the villager but loses the scout. That was not worth it. If he just committed a little bit longer to get the village down earlier, I'm pretty sure he would have been able to escape with the scout probably on 1 or 2 HP, but in the end, scout goes down and iBUYPOWER, he's bringing villagers over. What is he bringing villagers over for? Is he gonna try and douche with 3 villagers? There is no way. He's gonna try and get the walls up around the lumberjacks instead. I really don't get iBUYPOWER's strategy over here. What does he want to do? This would have required a lot of extra villagers, and like this, having 3 villagers forward only, he can try and lay some resources, I guess, but he also puts himself at risk, right? Because he's got the defender's advantage. If Uzzi was able to trap any of these villagers, or even just target these with his own villagers, because of the defender's advantage, he would most definitely come out on top. Uzzi, that is. But anyway, yeah, just gonna try and go full aim. Well, he doesn't want to just let the Mongols boom freely, right? And he's taking some of the deer over here, even though, as you can see, villager goes down over here from iBUYPOWER. Yes, sir! And the scout stays alive. So yeah, it might be a little bit too late though. You can take a look at that, and the Bull player has already been collecting a lot of hunting. He still has the turkeys over here. And that's another villager going down from iBUYPOWER. And Uzzi's in a great position. He's in a great position. Let's see if he's going to be able to get another villager down. We had 4 villagers come forward so far. iBUYPOWER's lost 2. Scout doesn't really have too much HP left to work with, so he won't really be able to block the villager. He can try though, but he's gotta be careful. Yeah, the scout over there is 1 hit now. And the villager, well, the villager might end up getting trapped over there. Let's take a look at Uzzi. Yeah, I could even control, but in the end, he's just getting too much idle villager time, so he's just going back. Alright, where is the 4th villager for the red player? Did they bring it back? Might have been one of these villagers. He went for the dogwit. Yeah. So in the end, he's gonna get the berries over here. We take a look at Uzzi, and he's not really going for the center whatsoever. Well, iBUYPOWER is going for the center. To be fair, iBUYPOWER is still in the Dark Age though. So this is delaying him quite a bit. The stable's already on the way for Uzzi, so we're gonna have scouts come out and take a look at iBUYPOWER's map. On the very back, he's still very much open around the woods, still very much open around the berries over here. And we take a look at his scouting information. I don't think he really knows what to expect from Uzzi. Because he lost a scout, he doesn't really have the ability to scout anymore because he's still in the Dark Age. The only way he'll be able to scout would be by either sending 4 villagers, but he got pushed back, or sending a militia, because obviously spearmen, which are very cheap, but are only available in the village, are not available to him right now. So this could be really good for Uzzi. iBUYPOWER doesn't really know what to expect from the Bull player. He could get caught up over here, completely off position. So the way to play this, in my opinion, from iBUYPOWER would be to just get the quick walls up regardless. Around the wood line, around the berry bushes. Even if he doesn't necessarily know what's coming his way, but now he will know as he loses a villager over here to the scouts coming over from Uzzi. That's gonna be another villager going down, not quite. Scouts struggle against the villagers over here, but he's bringing another one. You know what? And you know what? The hill advantage over there favors iBUYPOWER a little bit, and 1 scout goes down, but both these villagers will crumble. Yes, sir. That's 1 going down, and another one in the demo shot. That is a good one. from iBUYPOWER. He takes the scouts down and is able to survive with the villager because of it. Well done. I don't think it's going to get him much of anything, to be fair. Still took the losses, right? Still the one to lose 4 villagers, and because it's got just the 1 fishing ship over here, he's still behind actually by about 3 workers. The highest LPC time right now for the red player, that is, and Uzzi is not really affected by the lane that we saw from the red player over here too much, right? He already has another mill coming up in the north. He's got 4 deer to take advantage of, and there is even so much more than this around the map as well. So long as he's got the confidence to roam around the map, as he's the one putting pressure over here, so long as he's the one keeping the game focused on iBUYPOWER's side of the map, Uzzi should be fine. Should be able to keep on taking advantage of the free hunting over there. Ideally, he would still want to go for a few spearmen though. Some one up in the north, one down the south, especially if we take a look at the scouting information. Very soon he's going to realize about the stable, so he should be going for a few spearmen, in my opinion. Yeah, he can see the scouts. He can see the scouts right now. He can see the stable. And the spearman's on the way. Yeah. Uzzi. Well played so far. Both players still looking stronger. We take a look at gather economy time, and actually it is iBUYPOWER who's had the highest gather economy time. But you gotta wonder, now Uzzi was house over there for a moment. You gotta wonder, will the faster working hunters offset for the lower gather economy time for Uzzi? Let's take a look. And the only reason, by the way, the red players got a higher gather economy time compared to blue is because he was so much longer in the dark age and he had a much higher work count by the time he clicked up to the fuel age. So all the downtime from the TC over here, not really downtime, but the time that the TC spent researching the fuel age and not going for villagers, iBUYPOWER's effective economy at that point in time was so much stronger compared to Uzzi's, when Uzzi was the one going up to the fuel age. And let's take a look at this. Yeah, it's better for Uzzi despite the stats favoring iBUYPOWER in the panel over here. Hanova, how are you? I watched your How Much You Know of Age. I enjoyed it. Thank you. Nunez Knight. Appreciate it. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I had a good time. It was coming for a long time, actually. Poor Mancoman. He first contacted me, I think, before the RMS Cup 2. But I was just so swamped with the tournament. I said, yeah, probably after the tournament. And then we tried a few times, but for one thing or the other, we couldn't really do it. So in the end, it took a lot longer than it should have probably, right? But it was fun. I'm certainly hoping that whoever comes in next is not going to be so hard to schedule with. Poor Mancoman, I still feel bad about it. He had to wait months. It's a lot of scouts coming in though. Well done. He almost gets another villager. Took 1 spearman down. But he's being a little bit more cautious over here, waiting for the archers to take the spearman before committing to take the villagers down. So he's going after 1. Still about 5 spearmen, 6 spearmen over here for the red player to work with. Only 3 archers for Uzzi. And he's got more, to be fair, but they are not in position, right? I have to say that always that I get into the stream, I'm amazed that your English accent's beautiful. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm a stone with my English accent. Well, so was I at the very beginning, but with practice you can get better at it. As you can get better at almost anything. Beautiful. Nice engagement for iBUYPOWER. Second still on the way. He's gonna commit to it. And Uzzi's got a single stable. You know what? This could be really good for iBUYPOWER. The economy time still favors the red player. However, proportionally speaking, is not anywhere near as high compared to before. The advantage that he's got over Uzzi is not anywhere near as high. However, Uzzi will go for the second stable himself. He's got an archer range coming up too. The scouts are here though. The scouts might be able to prevent the archer range from coming out. We have a villager going down over there. Some archers over here from the Bull player are not going to be strong enough, even if he is able to get some of the scouts down. We'll see the villagers get completely wiped out from Uzzi. So the archer range is getting the night, for the time being, that is. At this point in time, nobody's really taking advantage of the double stable production from anyone. Militia raft now coming in for Mr. Uzzi, for Mr. iBUYPOWER, sorry. Doc coming out for Mr. Uzzi. And the Bull player is making a full transition over here, just Spearman and Archer. iBUYPOWER should be able to counter both these units with skirmishers. I'm not really sure if he's got an archer range yet. He doesn't. He should recognize the situation already. Given the army composition, he already got vision up with his own scouts over here. Coming in from Uzzi, he should be trying to make a play for skirmishers, but he's not. If he's going to stick to only scouts over here, of course that's going to be pretty easy for Uzzi to counter. Just needs to, you know, bring the spearman. And iBUYPOWER seems to be committed to it, guys. 9 scouts for the red player. He's got 3 more scouts. Get up. And here come the scouts. He's got bloodlines, he's got scale bar than armor. This might actually be enough. How many do we have over here for the red players? Got 11 scouts. Might actually be enough to take on all the units from Uzzi. So here we see the engagement take place. iBUYPOWER is trying to leverage the hill advantage over there. Not gonna be able to do it in the end though, but he's getting this run going anyway. And we see the Spearman over here dealing a lot of damage, but the Spearman will eventually go down. Will he though? Uzzi is losing all the units, but he was able to get a bunch of scouts down as well, remember? As well, but so long as Uzzi's paying attention, he starts, you know, mobilizing the Spearman. Should be in an alright spot. Here we go. Let's see, iBUYPOWER is going to be able to take advantage of this Uzzi. There's a minute away from the Castle Age. He's got a good amount of military. For the most part, it's going to be defenses, right? The Spearman. And he does not lose in one. We might see a few villages going down over there. Good unit control. Yes, one villager goes down. Gotta be careful. We have 2 Spearmen over here. 1 Spearman left, and the Spearman goes down. And here come the scouts. Another villager goes down. Uzzi's lost 5 workers so far. Falls behind by 10 villagers, while iBUYPOWER is already on his way to the Castle Age himself. Nice quick walls from Uzzi. Oh man, that is all. Oh, it's not actually closed! And here come the scouts, and this is disaster for the Bull player. My lord, we could see all these villages go down. iBUYPOWER is already ahead and working on by quite a lot, and that is all of these villagers. Just completely getting destroyed by the scouts. Yeah, in the end we have 2 over here on the left-hand side left. That one's going down, this one's going down as well. Well played! Well played! Even if the scouts end up going down to the Spearman, the amount of losses over here that Uzzi had to endure to the scout push was just too high. And well, he does have his counter push coming up over here down the south. In the end, we see that iBUYPOWER has gotten the better end of the deal so far into this game, with 13 eco kills versus 7 eco losses. And these units from Uzzi do not seem to be doing much of anything at this point in time. Well, he got to the castle age faster. There's nothing that he's got to show for it. Well, he's got some knights coming up. It's gonna take some time to get forward, of course. Meanwhile, iBUYPOWER is already getting to the castle age himself. Could go for the pikeman upgrade. Could potentially go for camels, of course. That's not something that he should rule out. Yeah, but it's got knights instead on the way. From 3 stables. Should be able to catch up very soon to Uzzi. Second TC is on the way now for the bull player too. But iBUYPOWER, he's got some camels into the queue right now as well. If he's able to prevent Uzzi from freely roaming around and raiding with the knights, he should find himself in a pretty good position overall. Yeah, this is not the way to do it, by the way. Do not engage against your opponent when they got so many extra units. Scouts still roaming around. iBUYPOWER is not paying attention, so the scouts do go down in the end. Here we are. Spearman from Uzzi coming forward alongside the archers, very similar to the feudal composition that he had just a moment ago. As a matter of fact, exactly the same. He's not gotten crossbowmen or pikemen yet, so of course against castle legends that is not anywhere near as effective. And iBUYPOWER, well, he puts himself in a very good spot. Might not losing about 2 villages over here, still ahead. Spy that in work account. And now there are a few ways that iBUYPOWER can go about this game. You can try and go for extra TCs and get a villager lead. He's got the faster working TCs, remember 15% faster in the castle age. So he could play for economy and he should put himself in a very good spot. Alternatively, he could try and go for 1 TC full push over here. However, he doesn't seem to be going for either thing though. You take a look at the queue over here, he's got just 2 monks. He's got a very small amount of military, while Uzzi on the other hand, Uzzi's gonna choose the way of economy. Second TC came up already towards the southwest and towards the right hand side of the starting TC. He's got another one coming up close to the center. Now a castle is coming in for Uzzi as well. So while iBUYPOWER certainly got the better traits in this game so far, as you can see from the KD, he certainly struggled the most to take advantage of it, I would say. Right? Only now a second TC is coming up, but this is so late. He's being able to catch up for the most part, and iBUYPOWER doesn't have a third TC on the way. He's got the stone, he does not have the wood. And he does not seem to be particularly interested in going for full military production. So yeah, I think I probably would prefer the red player to go for all out over here. Just try to go for it and put pressure. Especially as if Uzzi makes a play for economy and iBUYPOWER makes a play for economy, Uzzi's going to come out on top. We have seen how strong the Mongol are when the Mongols are left completely uncontested. So long as they have a good economy, right? I've been lurking. This is a fun set. It's looking like a... I don't know, man, if all the sets are going to be like this, but I'm hoping it is the case because it's been good. It's been good, yes. There we go. Still no 3rd TC coming out from iBUYPOWER. Uzzi. He's got 4 TCs already. And should be in a much better position from here on about 10 minutes or so, I would say. Yeah, 3rd TC finally on the way for iBUYPOWER. This just feels so late. He does, however, have a stronger military count compared to Uzzi. However, he's really struggled to take advantage of it. He's roaming around, and now, especially because Uzzi had so much time to get the extra TCs up himself, just by virtue of having a bunch of fortifications around the map, it makes it so much harder for iBUYPOWER to get any damage done around the Uzzi side of the map. Yeah, the military count is good for iBUYPOWER. the way that he takes advantage of this is by going forward and taking villagers down and try and prevent Uzzi from getting ahead in economy. The problem, though, is what I just mentioned, right? Because Uzzi had so much time to work with. He's got the TCs already up. He's got the castle over here. And if you take a look at all the fortifications from the Bull player, check this range. All of this is quote-unquote safe economy for Uzzi, right? As iBUYPOWER cannot really approach those areas. Especially because it's got mainly camels over here, just a few knights. Only now going for chain, bar, and armor. So unless Uzzi, I don't know, takes ages to react to the raids from iBUYPOWER, I think he should still be in a pretty decent spot though. We'll see. So Mango there coming out already for the Bull player. Okay, well this is good for iBUYPOWER. Uzzi took a little bit too long to react over there. In the end, doesn't end up losing a single villager though. Would definitely benefit from getting another castle up, and very soon he's going to have enough resources. And iBUYPOWER is going back to the same goal, hoping that Uzzi already out-garrisoned the villagers. Uzzi will now losing one villager over here. Maybe two, but he's got two TCs, and now these Gommels are also taking a lot of damage. Yeah, there we go. And three villagers going down over here to the knights from iBUYPOWER as well. 1, 2, 3, actually 4 villagers, I think. There we go. Yeah, and Red player. Now he's finally getting ahead. Now he's finally starting to take advantage of the fast working DCs. Swarming around, preventing Uzzi from going for extra villagers. We'll be able to prevent the castle from coming up over here, so Uzzi's castle is still going to be a little bit of a nuisance for iBUYPOWER, but from this position though, the Red player starts to look a lot stronger compared to Uzzi, and he played his cards right. This is exactly what he needed to do. He needed to roam around and try to put as much pressure as possible to prevent Uzzi from just getting ahead in economy uncontested, right? And because of the raids that he had going over here, he forced Uzzi into more military production. He forced Uzzi into idle TC time, idle worker time. And now iBUYPOWER doesn't open himself on the lead. This is not necessarily the way that it could have gone, of course. It could have been completely different, but this is good for the Red player. You know, in a higher level game, I would probably say this will look very decided already, very one-sided, but at this level, I think there's definitely still a chance for Uzzi to potentially make a comeback into the game once again. Now, this is not the way that he goes about it, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 villagers dead. Fantastic. So iBUYPOWER's units. And up in the north, we're gonna see even more villagers going down over here. The military count for iBUYPOWER has been getting even stronger than it was before. With chain bar and armor over here, a much more respectable amount of knights compared to what we had originally to work with. iBUYPOWER should be in a position to deny a lot of extra economy from Uzzi for sure. Beautiful. Cast under a lot of pressure. We have the Mango coming over. Continue control from Uzzi as well. Garrisoning the Mango. Should be able to take care of the Ram over here without too many issues. And with the amount of Mango he's got, should be able to even take care of Knights. However, though, on the right hand side up in the north, Uzzi under a lot of pressure still. Ended up garrisoning the TC over here. You know what? iBUYPOWER's got even more units coming up. He's gotta be careful. The castle will shred his units still, but if he dives in, he will most likely not still end up getting a few villages over here before the units go down. he will still end up causing a lot of idle TC time from the bull player. And now Uzzi's going for the counter raid. He's got so much to compensate for though. There is so much offsetting over here for Uzzi to do. Yeah, you take a look at the worker count over here, and Uzzi's behind by 17. Where are the military units from iBUYPOWER? They are still here, right? So this is not the end of the aggression from the red player. And check this out! He's going after the TC! We might see this one go down! This is a primarily Knight army. So he's trying to TC. He bails in the end. Still have 13 villages garrisoned over there. He decides to be a little bit more cautious about it, a little bit more, you know, a little bit safer. To play it a little bit safer, and in the end, he doesn't end up bailing. Meanwhile, back home, he tried to get the quick walls up. And then really trap the Mangoday in the end. And Uzzi's going to survive over here for the time being. And the game is still looking stronger for iBUYPOWER, and it's been so the case ever since the first strike over here prompted Uzzi to idle his TCs quite a lot. But it's not over. You take a look at Uzzi's economy, and he's looking fine. Take a look at this military count, and it might not be quite as high as iBUYPOWER's, but the more mango that we get out, the harder it is going to be for iBUYPOWER to counter those units, no matter how many units he goes for himself. So long as Uzzi is able to get to a decent amount of mango, and I'm talking about 30, 35 mango, and is able to keep on producing the units, to keep on replenishing his army, so he needs a somewhat decent economy behind that, of course, as well. That should put Uzzi in a pretty good spot. Bloodland's coming in, he didn't have it. He's got husbandry coming up. He's just finished researching wheelbarrow as well, so that's going to put both these players on even ground in terms of economy. There we go. Beautiful. Imperial just on the way now for iBUYPOWER. Uzzi, on the other hand, is getting close to having enough to go up himself. And here comes the raid one more time. Uzzi's not paying too much attention over here, though. TC still has plenty of space left to carry some villages into it, but in the end, these knights will now get in a few extra villages. How many villages did these guys get so far? 12 villagers. It's going to be 13 very soon. 14, as a matter of fact. Oh! There's a lot of villages, though! Behind the house over here that I don't even realize about! Oh, Lord! He was paying attention down south, trying to escape iBUYPOWER's Bowl of Knights, and in the end he ends up getting completely wiped out here. These knights, so far... My lord, actually let me select even these. Imperial is here for iBUYPOWER and Uzzi. Uzzi's getting very close to having enough to click up himself, but he's getting so far 26 villagers. With his knight army, iBUYPOWER that is, with the units that he still has alive. 4 castles on the way now for iBUYPOWER 2, which will allow him to put a lot more pressure over here with trebuchets. Meanwhile, back home, he should already have the first trebuchet on the way, and he does. Uzzi, on the other hand, is still struggling to get to a decent amount of mango. And you know what? He's going to struggle once again as the knights are coming over to the same old tired gold. As we see the knights take a bunch of villages down over here. Uzzi falls behind further. He's got access to no gold right now. The only gold he was collecting from was... Yeah, and ballistics would be certainly quite helpful in this situation, but because Uzzi is only collecting gold from the gold right next to his TC, and it's just kept on getting raided time and time again, he does not have enough to go out to the Imperial Age. However, he does have a market, and he's got 800 additional food, sorry, so he does use it and clicks out to the Imperial Age, but this is something like he could have done at any point in time in the last 5 minutes or so, so he could have already been in the Imperial Age, I feel like. While iBUYPOWER, on the other hand, well, he's in a very good position over here. I'm surprised that he is not gone for Cavalier yet. He's got the resources for it, certainly. He's got the production that he needs. He's got the stables, right, that he needs to go for the upgrade without affecting his knight production. And yeah, he's not really gone for it. Only he's gotten plate bar than armor. But is this going to call the GG over here, though? And guys, iBUYPOWER will be the one moving on to the round of 18. The decider round. The fourth and final round of T90's Titan League over here. See which 9 players are going to make it into the Gold League. And it's good. It's good. Really reminds me of the Open Elo Cups of yore, if you remember. We would have a low Elo bracket, and then the top players from there would move on to the next Elo bracket as well, but of course this is much higher level. Regardless, let's go and take a look at the achievements one more time over here. And what do we get? We're going to see a better KD in the end for iBUYPOWER. Is going to be about 4-3, a little bit higher than that even. For economy, we have stronger economy for iBUYPOWER as well, collecting thousands of extra resources. How much so? About 100 extra, 10,000 extra resources. I was gonna say 100, that is not a thing, but yeah, about 10,000 extra resources. For society, we see also a stronger villager count over here for iBUYPOWER towards the end of the game, and he was also the player to lose the least units. 38 villages going down throughout the game for iBUYPOWER compared to Uzzi. He ended up losing about 86 over there. 85 I think. Quick maths, not my strength when fasting for 20 hours, but yeah, that's going to be it, guys. iBUYPOWER then moves on to the Decider series while Uzzi gets knocked down.